We're live. I'm here with Brian Walsh of Over the Top Waterproofing, Over the Top Masonry, and where are you in the structure of leadership for Over the Top Candles?
So actually, I do have a percentage of OTC candles.
That's
Yes.
big stuff.
Yeah. So my daughter Briley, I jokingly said like, I got an idea, and she ran with it. You know what I mean? And she started she turned my dining room table into a candle making factory. Like she gets like 50-pound boxes of wax delivered, all these scents, and I'm teaching her too, like, and she's taking my suggestions, and that's like awesome because watching her, and she's listening to me, and she's watching me too.
Right.
So she's like with the logo, how she did the logo like my logo, but then she put like her own like candle in the middle, and then she updated her logo, and I'm like so proud she updated it. And then it's like these little things,
That's so awesome. We're jumping ahead a little bit.
Yeah.
What we like to do in the beginning is kind of just give us, a background. I don't know, start in high school, whatever, 18-ish around there, and to where you're at today. Give us a little round up.
18?
17?
I just
18?
touched your name. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
No Diddy.
Lots of Diddy. I keep telling
you. No Diddy. 18. Where was I? I was 18. Down the shore, maybe. Yeah, down the shore. I was doing telescope pictures down the shore that summer. You know the little keychain things you look up, and they have like I was a beach photographer, and that was fun.
Awesome.
Yeah. Just doing scopes. I was a scoper, and living up down the shore. You know how the shore goes.
Yeah. And then bring us, up to date. Like bring us through the progression of you selling those down the shore to where you are today.
Okay, so where I'm at today, I started. I always wanted to be a business owner, so I started a company with like two guys. When I was like 21, a waterproofing company with them, and I learned everything like what not to do when I was 21. When I look there, here, whatever, just go
wherever you want.
Yeah.
Right in my eyes.
Right in your eyes. All right. No Diddy. So I learned everything what not to do when I was 21. Partners, subcontracting, residential. You don't really want to subcontract residential. There's there's a pie there, and when you're a sub, you just get a small piece of the pie. So I learned, like I said, I learned everything what not to do when I was 21, this time around in 2015, I started with nothing, just my Honda CRV, and just did everything my own way, just enjoyed the process, loved the process, no money, and just, I worked for other people as I was building. I even got in the union as I was building, and just to have a steady stream of income. So, so I worked for other people and still built my business on the side.
Right. Seems like that's a good way to go if you are planning on starting your own business, is joining a union at some point and learning the tricks of the trade from all the old heads, and
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying, like doing it that way.
Yeah, well the union was, that was like a blessing, because it was, obviously the health benefits, the benefits of the union. I'm a pro-union guy, but I started the waterproofing company and then got in the union. But in the middle of that process, I set another goal was to graduate from the bricklayers union, and I'm a pointer called.
So what's that like? Graduating from the apprenticeship?
Correct. Yeah. So 3.5, 4 years. So I did it in like 3.5 years. I could have left like halfway through. Like I was busy enough with Over the Top Waterproofing, like my second year in. But like chasing that goal to graduate, I built so much more value to myself. And my goal was to graduate and retire that night, and that's what I did. And I just went head on with Over the Top. And in the middle of that process too.
What year are we at right now when you're talking?
About like 5 years ago. So
like 19.
Yeah. So during that process of like being in the union, like I'm seeing all these other like, union contractors, and like they can do it, I can do it. So I set a goal for to be a union contractor as well, and that's why I started Over the Top Masonry. and then going through that process. And that's not off the table being a union contractor, but just their contract didn't work for me. It put too many restrictions on the residential side that we crush it in.
Gotcha.
Yeah, like my hand motions.
Yeah, no, you got to talk with your hands sometimes.
Yeah, well, I should have brought my tools. I could have pointed this wall for you here. Yeah.
That's good stuff. So talk about like the early days. Like, so I just had someone on, and he brought me back to literally like his first job. He was living at a recovery house. Basically homeless, had a van and a paintbrush, and just started that. That's where the ball started rolling for him. Do you remember like specifically a job or a time when that's where things started to take off for you?
Absolutely. So my first job, it was actually the person I did it for. It was for Eddie Rogers on one of his older properties in Wissinomie. And we parged the basement there right before he sold it. So I had my Honda CR-V. I paid a mechanic, two mechanics. They blew it out, it was pretty. It was good. It was a good, great experience. It was also like Eddie shows up for his friends, and it was good doing that. And then my first French train too. I had my Honda CR-V and paid the guy had a truck extra money because you need a truck for a job. You know what I mean? So that was my thing too, paying guys with trucks extra money. But I remember too, like I filled my Honda CR-V up with like a ton of stone, in the back. So you got like French drain material in there and pipes and stone, and it was just I seen a picture and it looked just like would fill with stone in like a minivan. I took a screenshot of it. I'm like, it looks just like how my Honda CR-V used to look. I seen it on Facebook or something. I'm gonna post it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Dude. I mean, there's always like a point in everybody's journey where it's like that's where it started. A lot of times you don't know it until you've gotten a little further in.
I remember on 95, I got their sparks like hitting because it was hitting so low. Yeah. And but it's like I was so like still happy and just smiling. Yeah. Just because I knew I was going to have that white truck with the blue lettering. Like with the 8-foot bed, like I visualized it all the time, and I seen it. You know what I mean? So it was just waiting for me. It was already there. Yeah. And
that was 5 years ago, or no?
No, that was like 2016, like almost 17. Yeah, 2016. Oh no, 2015. But 2016, I got the white truck with the blue lettering.
Gotcha. That's good stuff. I was like reminiscing with people about their starts to the whole thing. That's really good stuff. If there was somebody starting any business today, you've been doing this a long time, you've made mistakes, it's how we learn. What's one thing you would tell somebody, not just waterproofing or masonry, just anything, any entrepreneur? One piece of advice.
I would figure out what you want to do and create a plan and execute on it, and don't stop until you get there.
Just go all in.
Yeah. Execution is where it's key. A lot of people have like these
great ideas are great.
Yeah. So you just don't have the balls to execute. So So you gotta have a plan, and you gotta execute, and just you gotta have passion too. Like if you're passionate about it, it's like then you won't stop. You know. So passion's key.
You gotta like what you're doing. You can only run off other sources for so much,
Yeah.
We like to talk about daily habits too, on this. It's also a wellness podcast, Real Well Radio. It's entrepreneurship, but also like what you do, because you have young kids.
Yes,
which is and as they get older, it's going to be harder for different reasons. Like I try to get to bed at an early time, but sometimes I'm not getting home from practices until 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. But with the younger kids, it's a little bit different. Do you have daily routines that you implement as far as working out in the morning or just breath work or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, I think your routine is like always you're always adding and taking away. Hydration, obviously, that's like the first thing I do as soon as I wake up. there's different things. Like I'm on like different like communities, like the harvest community. So like we do 7 a.m. every Wednesday on a Zoom call. So I like to like on that day I like to do the Peloton tread. So I like to Zoom and just and walk and listen to that. But obviously, like I said, hydration and you need a shower. You know, after your walk.
Hydration and hygiene.
Hydration and shower. But like I said, I'm always adding and taking away, and then sometimes I ask about routine, and it reminds me that I got to get back on like my, centering practice and stuff like that, But yeah, I mean, it's sometimes the routine but I always hydrate. That's always hydrating.
Are you big on getting up early?
I used to. I was in like the 5 a.m. club, for a while. Now I'm like a 6:30,
Yeah, it's like I was just saying, it's hard. Like getting up at 5 a.m. or 4 a.m. is great. Like you can get a ton of stuff done, but also sleep is important.
Yeah.
Too, So like depending on, I don't know.
Because sometimes I'm like I do a lot of work late. Like we hammer out. My wife hammered a lot of proposals out at night after we put the kids to bed. So we're up late a lot working. Like, we're always
right.
You know what I mean. So we get a lot of work done late night too. It's not like It's not like we're clubbing all night,
Not anymore, right? How important? I mean, I know just from knowing you, and also from what you've already said, being on here, is that you do a lot of networking. Like how important was that to ramping up business? As you went along, like at what point did you realize, like, I need to start getting in rooms with people smarter than me?
I always just did it. And I didn't even realize it until actually Devin Denofa broke it down to me, like how important, like how great everything I'm doing, like the Philly Mastermind group we have in my office every month, like that, and I just, it's just stuff we do,
Right.
And I have a conversation with Sean Cohen about it, like, and we didn't realize like how important and stuff. It's just what we do,
right.
You know what I mean? So we've been doing it for years, So yeah, it's just something we automatically did, and then then we're realizing like this is actually very helpful for the business as well.
Right. Especially since it's in your office.
Yeah. But it doesn't. We enjoy doing it. You know what I mean? Like I love it.
Going back to what you were just saying, like you have to enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah.
If you to do something for that long and have changed locations at times and all that, like you have to love what you're doing. And at some point, you have to love helping people too.
Yeah, absolutely.
That giving back too.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's very important. There's that's like it gets you helping others. It gets you out of yourself. You know what I mean? Like you always have like I always like you sponsored. I have a couple of things that we sponsor that are important to us that we do every year. You know what I mean? We're always always helping. Just giving back. When we can. Big thing that we love, like that we do, is that over the top Toys for Tots. We do that at the office. It's a day where people just drop off toys, and then we load the trucks up and take it all down to St. Christopher's, and it's pretty cool. That's a good feeling.
That's awesome. How long have you been doing that?
I think we're at like 5 years doing that
wow.
now. Yeah, 4 or 5. I gotta check. Yeah, we just do it, dude. I don't count.
Yeah, no, it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. My favorite question I ask to everybody, because I have such a hard time patting myself on the back for accomplishments. Like, what's like one thing that you can like really look and tell everyone how proud of yourself you are?
So about 11 years ago, I had to like restart my life over. You know what I mean? Just like start from scratch, and so like probably like 9 years ago, I got filed for full custody for my daughter. And I set a goal to, get full custody of her. I was in a good position. You know what I mean? I knew like she needed me. You know what I mean? I needed her. So it took about a little over a year, but kept showing up, doing the right thing, and I got full custody of my daughter. And my wife today, Alyssa, like she was a big supporter and very helpful. But yeah, definitely a proud moment. One of the proud moments.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, and I remember when I had to change with the school district. We were in like Holland, renting up there for a year. And I remember going like with the transcripts and the letter and proof of address and just like shaking, like not knowing what I'm doing, but I'm here to like register my kid for school.
Right.
And just sweating and like I remember when I first like pursued and tried to get her, I wasn't ready, you know what I mean? But like that year, a little over a year, like I grew into the man that was ready for it when I got her, you know. So
That's good stuff. Like I how old are you?
I'll be 40 August 1st.
Okay, I'm 42. So the podcast just posted today of the guy I'm about to talk about, but we were talking on the podcast about how like just but also men in general, it seems like don't actually like feel like you're grown up until like 30 or later. You know what I mean? But nah, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it takes a while for us to come around.
Yeah. Well, I mean, women they grow, you know what I mean? They grow faster. My wife, she's 30, and I'll be 40. So yeah.
Me and my wife have about the same difference. Are you big into podcast? You know, as far as like mindset stuff goes, like do you listen to any specific podcast or listen to any books?
I do a lot of audibles. Like I mean, I'll listen to anything that sounds good. I mean, like for example, like on the way here today, I'm on YouTube, and it was like a whole, what's it called, complication or complicate the whole thing. How do you pronounce that word?
Now you got me screwed up.
Yeah, we know they put a bunch of the videos motivational. Well, it was Nipsey Hussle. And I'm listening on the way up here. He's great, you know what I mean? And I didn't realize he had like a motivational like videos out there. And I was listening to that for the first time today. And you know what I mean? I like David Goggins. Like who doesn't like him? But I probably started out with like Gary Vee, and that was you know, I remember meeting Eddie Rogers. We saw him over at the convention center. It was like a big summit. Like Tony Robbins.
A couple years ago,
maybe when I was in the union actually.
Okay.
It was probably like 6 years ago.
I remember seeing the billboards back then.
Yeah, and I remember I was on, I was working in Union. I'm like on 30th Street train station. I'm like, I got to take off tomorrow. Gary Vee's in town. I'm going. They thought I was crazy, you know. But they didn't see what I saw. You know? And, it was good. It was like a lunch thing with him.
And Tony Robbins was there too.
Yeah, he was there, but not the lunch. It was like a lunch with Gary Vee, Q&A.
Oh, really?
Yeah, me and Eddie Rogers went. Yeah.
How many people were in there?
Probably in the room, probably like 100 in the room, yeah, for the luncheon. But definitely a couple hundred for the whole event.
Gotcha. How did I always forget to ask this of businesses because I don't know, I got other stuff going on in my head. But what did you have to do during COVID to pivot? Like, did you have to? I know a lot of your stuff is like out of the way, basements, outside, but was there anything specific that you really had to that ended up helping you moving forward?
So what we did, you know, where they said like you got to be, you know, essential, you know. So what I did was I just posted that I was essential, and we were just working, you know, like we weren't really essential, but I'm like, I got kids, I got a mortgage, like I'm essential, like you know what I mean. Right. So I was just telling her we were essential, and we were just kicking ass working, you know what I mean.
Everybody's home with extra money, right?
Yeah,
Get the job's done.
In my eyes, I was essential. So, and you're essential. Everybody's essential. Yeah. You know what I mean? So we did the mask thing and just, you know, played along. And but we adapted and we thrived during COVID. And any good contractor did. You know, if you did good work and you were a professional, you thrived and you grew. And that's what we did.
Right.
Yeah, we crushed it during COVID. The week where the shutdown happened, like everybody was shut down. You know what I mean? So everybody was kind of doing nothing. But you know what? Actually, we were working the next day when the shutdown. We were working that day. I had a job to do.
Yeah,
but the commercial stuff was still flowing. That was great. Residential was funny though. It slowed down, but then it picked up when people started to realize.
Yeah, people started to realize it was So they need to get jobs done, and you're willing to do it. That's great stuff. So we got to patting ourselves in the back. We got the podcast stuff done. All right, is there anything else you wanted to put out there into the world? You know, this is the number one podcast. This side of Mississippi. Yeah.
Okay.
Just this side of the Mississippi, though.
Yeah, you're up there with Joe Rogan.
Yes.
All right. Anything I want to say?
Yeah, I mean, but before we wind down, and you know, you can tell everybody how to get in touch with you, your website, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, overthetopwaterproofing.com. We're on IG, TikTok, do the dances, Facebook.
You do a great job on social media.
Thank you. Yeah, I love it. Like, you know, that stuff's easy. And I was just talking this morning. Like, I got to start a YouTube channel. I don't. You know, my son Brian, he has a YouTube channel. Big Dog Brian, and so I'm like, he's like, he's doing more than me,
Yeah.
So I need a YouTube channel. So hopefully YouTube's not going anywhere. But yeah, anything I have to say to your fan base, don't fuck this up.
Beautiful. Last question, very important. If you could have one superpower from any comic book or movie that you've ever seen, what would it be?
I gotta think of that one, man.
It's a good one, right?
That's a real good one, yeah. Because I always thought, like, I loved X-Men growing up, and I always thought, like Wolverine's my favorite X-Men. Like, I got a big Hulk portrait on my back. Like, I love superheroes, but I always thought Professor Xavier was gonna like show up at my house one day, and hey, Brian, come to our school. Like, I was like, that's where I was. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? He never came, but
yeah, no,
yeah.
You
But
had to start a waterproofing company instead.
yeah. But yeah, maybe he might still,
You did not fuck this up, brother.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Like, subscribe, share. Reach out to Bri for all your masonry, waterproofing needs, and candles. One more time for the candles.
Over the Top Candles. She's on IG as well, and then she actually has me doing her deliveries in the middle of my estimates as well. So,
see you guys. Thank you.
Bye. That's great.